Guys, so before I get started, I just wanted to say that use your best judgment on when to refuse a person help, because there's some situations that people cannot come back from, and you don't want your loved one or anyone for that matter to end up in a irreversible situation, if you know what I mean. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am all for helping people. I help people a lot. I like to volunteer. I actually enjoy volunteering. I always have a volunteer place that I go to. And when people come to me for help, I don't turn them away. If I can help them, I always try to help. With that being said, there are certain people that you shouldn't bother trying to help because you simply will not succeed. Number one, if you know somebody that waits for you to help, they don't try hard enough, they don't try the best that they can, they don't explore every avenue that's open to them, but they just sort of tell you their problems and expect you to offer help, don't help those people, because what you're doing is you are conditioning them to not help themselves. Every time that you run to a person's aid before they even, try their best at trying to help themselves, you are not doing them justice. You're not really helping them. You're helping to cripple them, because everyone have things that they're capable of doing that is far beyond what they think they're capable of doing. And until they get to that point, the breaking point where they push as hard as they possibly can, they will never really know their own true potential. And I'm speaking about everyone, myself included. And a person will not get to that potential or will not get to learn of their own potential if they always have somebody that runs to them and helps them out of difficult situations. So sometimes it's best to just let people really go through it until they learn how to pull themselves out. And if they try and try and try really hard and they are not succeeding, then of course you can, come in and help them. But don't be so quick to volunteer to help them just because they're in a difficult position. Like, you're not really helping them when you do that. So don't try to help people that sort of wait for you to come in and rescue them. Number two, if you know somebody that does something that causes them to be in a difficult situation, and it's their actions that put them in that situation, don't try to help them out. Let them help themselves out, because as long as they don't acknowledge that they are the ones that's causing these difficult situations for themselves, they're never going to be in a good place where they're able to, live peacefully and happy and successfully. Okay, so sometimes you need to let people suffer a little bit until they come to the realization that, okay, well, maybe this thing that I'm doing is what's putting me in this situation. They will not come to that realization if you help them too quickly, and they get used to you coming to help them. So you need to not be so quick to help those people. Quite frankly, in my opinion, I would say don't help them at all. Let them really acknowledge their role in their situation. A lot of people don't like to take responsibility for their own actions. If something goes wrong, or when something goes wrong in their family, in their marriage, their work, their friendship, they like to blame every other outside source that they can possibly blame, but they will never take responsibility and say, well, maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe it's because of the way I handle situations, and that's why I always end up in this kinds of situations. They never do this sort of self-reflecting, and they especially will not do self-reflecting if you don't let them suffer a little bit in that situation. They need to experience the situation and think for themselves and analyze the situation. All of these things take time. Sometimes it might take months for a person to be in a certain negative situation for them to begin to self-reflect, especially if it's someone that has a habit of not self-reflecting. So if you know somebody like that that does not take responsibility, you need to let them experience whatever it is that they're going through. Take this with a grain of salt, like as in just use your common sense. If they're in a place where they're feeling very depressed and things are just really bad and they're starting to really feel bad about their life, and you see that it's heading towards a negative, like an even more negative direction, then obviously you have to help them. But what I'm saying is, as long as it's not to the point where they're super depressed and they're incapacitated because of their depression, then it's okay to let them experience the negative situation that they created so that they can think their way out of it and learn from that, not to do whatever it is that they did to put themselves in that situation. So in that case, helping them is not really helping them. You're just incapacitating them even more. The third, and I believe final group of people or type of person that you should not offer help to is someone that never quite seems to know how to do anything. They find themselves in difficult situations. They don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how they got in it. They don't know what happened. Everything is just a mystery to them. They don't know how to solve any problem. They can't do a simple Google search to figure out the answer to some simple questions. And they always have to find someone to ask them to help them. Like, can you do this? What do I do? What do I do? And it's like, no adult is that helpless. Like, everybody know how to do something. Everybody know how to go to Google at this point. Everyone with internet access or with a smartphone knows how to Google stuff. People can do their own research. People can figure out solutions to most of life's problems. Like, nobody was born as a walking encyclopedia. So whoever these types of people is asking for help, that person got their information from somewhere, either through life experience or by their own research or by talking to someone. So whoever needs the help can do the same thing. They can find someone that they think is in a position to answer their questions. They can do their own internet research, and they can do whatever it is that they need to do to get the answers that they need to solve their own problem. You should not be so quick to jump up and say, yes, I know how to do this. I've done this before. I'm going to help you. And this is how you do it. And then they're going to come back a short while later and ask you more questions. And then you're going to answer. And then they're going to come back. And before you know it, you're like their own personal encyclopedia. And you're supposed to answer every question. God forbid the one time that you decide not to answer. It is not the 99 times that you have helped people that they will remember. It is that one time that you say, no, I have things to do, I have deadlines to meet. That is the one time that they're going to remember, and they're going to hold that against you and say, oh, you remember that one time, and they will never forgive you for that. So don't put yourself in that position. It's actually not even healthy for friendships or relationships if you always have to jump to help someone with something. I've been in that position many times, and it's like I've had people ask me questions like how they can go about starting their business, and they weren't looking for like a summary. They were looking for details, and every time I give them an information, they will come back and say, okay, so what do I do next? And then I'll tell them what to do, and they'll go do it, and then they'll come back, okay, so now that I've done this, what's next? And it's like, wow, I'm basically running your business. Like, I cannot do that. I cannot run your business for you. If you're this unprepared to run your own business, to do your research and to figure out what you need to do for your business, you shouldn't be having a business. You're not ready. So it's a hole that you don't want to dig yourself into, because once you start answering questions like that, you cannot stop. Because once you stop, it's like, okay, why did she suddenly stop answering my questions? Is it because I'm making progress and she's jealous? That's how people think. They won't think maybe she's just tired of answering your questions. People don't think that. So yeah, these are the types of people you shouldn't bother helping unless it is absolutely necessary. Okay. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.